So this also, there's more good news, but I want to jump into something else real quick. In talking about pro-life issues, and there's bodily autonomy, there are really good arguments. Of course, bodily autonomy, I think, is the best. And I was talking with a friend, and she said, who is Catholic and goes to Catholic church, but she is not pro-life. It doesn't. None of this matters to them. It comes down to it's wrong. There is just a visceral thing, and that's like the evolution thing that I did on your show, Jen, where there's just a visceral reaction. I don't want to be related to any ape.
Right.
And how do you deal with that? So when she said that, I'm like, what do you say to that? It's not reasoned.
Right.
And you're not going to rebut that with any reason.
Well, and it gets down to, you're right, there's no reason involved because it's a rule. It's written down. It's right there.
Well, it's more than that. They have a feeling about that being a baby. I mean, especially...
Right. Yeah, and there's the emotional connection, but, I mean, when it comes down to the reason, it isn't reason, there's a rule, and everything else is justification for the rule. Mm-hmm. And so the emotion that's tied to it with, oh, it's a baby, it's like if you knew anything about, embryology or, prenatal development, you'd see that it's, in a lot of ways, it's not like a baby. It's not a little pink newborn.
I think even if they knew all that stuff.
No, this gets to an interesting thing, though. There's, I went to this interesting art exhibit, actually. Like, there was a couple of artists that were having their shows, and there was this upstairs thing that you could go into, and I forget what it was called. It had some cute little name, and it was like this experiential sort of thing that you went into, and you had to participate in whatever way you felt comfortable with. And one of the things they had was this wall where you had to write down, they wanted you to write down on these little notepads and then pin it to the wall, issues that you feel that society does not or will not address that it should, like things that you feel are like taboo that your society should address. And I felt bad because I thought of some things and I didn't put them on the wall because I just thought, I don't even, I knew they were so taboo that it's like you can't, I was too embarrassed to even put them on the wall.
Wow,
thinking,
that's some serious art if it makes you think like that.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I really loved it. I thought this was a great idea. But it did make me think about some of these issues. And I'm like, there are items that I know that if I tried to address this with a person, the very first wall I would have to get past is just this is wrong, right? Period. And to even get somebody to think about it, you kind of have to get past that. It reminds me of the old conservative idea, which was like, oh, if you're even asking about that, you like lack the moral fortitude to even understand. You don't even understand why it's wrong if you can't see why this is wrong. And this is how homosexuality was treated for a long, long time, right? It was just the idea that this is depravity, period.
Right.
Well, they couldn't describe why it was wrong because their internal person didn't identify with it, so they had no words, no ability to.
Well, and it was reduced to a sex act,
right?
The whole thing.
Yeah, and that also comes into
an
it,
icky sex act, as far as they were concerned. Right. Yeah. Even though it's a lot of what they engage in all the time as heterosexuals, but.
But see, that's the thing. I think it's the fact that it's with the same gender that it doesn't register. It doesn't come on their radar. And so they don't have the language for it. They don't have the understanding for it. So it's icky.
Yeah. But there are conversations that we're just, as a society, not allowed to have.
Right.
And to me, when I think about it, the refusal to engage in those conversations perpetuates the harm.
Oh, yeah.
But it's interesting. They're powerful taboos.
So,
but that you can't even raise it. Like even in the most open-minded groups, sometimes it's like I don't know if I can even raise this issue. So that happens, and for what you're describing, I think is the same type of thing. It's like this is just wrong. How do you not see this is wrong? They're killing a baby. It's wrong to kill babies. It's just wrong.
Yeah. So is this a good time to transition into a discussion of gender?
Sure.
Oh, we could do that. Yeah.
Did you have something else first?
I just there